Tony, it's good to see you.
You too, Mr. President.
Now I want you to level with me.
Let me tell you something. There's going to be a whole bunch of things we don't tell Mrs. Clinton.
Oh my God, it's Bill Clinton!
Hello everyone, I'm the Odd Spectre, and normally I like to do a lot of comic book content, but naturally I'm also a toy collector. So today I have something that just came in today. That is the Avengers Wave Iron Man Extremis toy. It's part of the Puff Adder wave. I just got this in. I thought it would be fun to do a little unboxing of it and show you what I think. Alright, and here's the full box. The little Avengers logo on top. And, you know, of course we got the windowless packaging. We got our accessories here. And here's how he comes straight out of the box. You see he's got his fists attached first. And yeah, this thing, it's picture perfect, man. Straight out of the comics. Of course, directly inspired by the Extremis storyline. He kept this armor for a while during the Civil War era of Marvel Comics in like the early 2000s. But yeah, to me, this is the quintessential modern Iron Man look. And, you know, obviously the movie took a lot of inspiration from this look. And if you can see, this is some of the marbled plastic that they use. And I think this is one of the better instances of it, you know, because it still gets that chrome type metallic finish. But you're also not getting like some of those streaks and weird lines that some of the marbled effects get. You know, I think I had the right idea putting some nails on because this is giving me a bit of a ASMR effect. So there you go, just giving you one more good look at him before we get into some of the details and accessories he comes with. And speaking of accessories, we got a few right here. He comes with 2 open hands for blast effects. What I really like about these is that they have a hinge right there, so you can move the hand itself, you know, like used to getting some of the energy hands that, you know, don't. They're just kind of fixed to that one position. I'll show you some examples later. And of course we got 2 blast effects. They could be used as rocket boosters or pulse blasters. To me, these kind of look more like rockets, you know, but they work either way. But on to the movement. I did hear some talk about some of this not having the most flexibility, but you know, we'll see. Now it does have these shoulder pads, but I really like how Hasbro's been doing these because they still give you that full motion all the way up. You know, you miss out a little bit of here, but I feel like that's pretty forgivable given the reach that we get. Give them a little T-pose there. So yeah, those are attached right here. You know, I think they are glued in. I don't want to tug at them too much, but these actually right here do peg in. So you see there's the hole for it. And you know, these are a bit of a lesser known iconic piece of Iron Man's armor. You know, like his classic versions have this little round piece right here that goes right above the thigh. There we go, pushing it back in to where it will never be removed again because it just looks so nice there. And you know, it gives you that full leg motion. You can switch it up, and then you have much higher kick. But you know, he's Iron Man, so I don't know how often I'm going to be posing him as kicking, but I do like that range of motion we get. Now the torso, it doesn't go too far forward. It's practically, you know, not at all. I think you can have it kind of neutral and then a little slant forward, but he makes up for that by going pretty far backwards, you know, like well, not super far, but he does have some give back there. I like that, you know, gonna be pretty good for flying poses. And as far as the head goes, I actually, straight out of the box, I felt like it was a bit stiff, but after trying it out with a different head and then putting this one back on it, actually, he can get some pretty good lift. Well, put that back on. Yeah, that's not a bad head tilt, you know, he can look pretty far up. There's his down position. So yeah, pretty satisfactory head.
That's what she said!
The not too much motion left or right, not really going anywhere there, but you know, obviously it's on a ball joint, it can move left and right. But the head tilt back and forth, not really there, but you know, forgivable. I don't really have a problem with that. And the arc reactor, you can see the triangle. I think you can see a little bit of the yellow in it. Yeah, it's just got a very pale yellow color right there. The light's kind of blinding it a little bit. And I'm just going to give you a real good look at the face. The face is always one of the major things in these, and I like some of the black lines that accentuate the crevices of his helmet. He has that same pale yellow in the eyes, and going around, there is detail all the way through this. Really, really comic accurate. Like, if you're to get one Iron Man, I don't think this is a bad one. All right, taking a look with him in the open hands. Hello, there they are, yeah. Looking pretty good. And like I said, that bend, perfect. I love that. There he is, blasting away.
I started blasting. Bam! Bam!
I think he looks perfect. I love that up tilt, but also if we want to invert them, do a little bit of that. Yeah, one of my favorite things about this so far is the range we get on those hands. He can bury his head right in his hand so he can look shameful, as Tony should. He does a lot of bad things.
Shame. Shame.
But I also like having his hands go in a flying position. And there are places at the bottom of the feet for them to peg in so he can rocket off with his feet instead. Love that kind of option. But alright, we've had a good look at him. Let's see how he compares to some other Iron Man related figures I have. Oh, forgot to mention this is also a pinless figure, so you can see there in the joints there is no pin. So it just looks all that more seamless. Leg, perfect. Just looks like a solid model. And the bends in the joints also don't take away from the piece at all. You know, because sometimes you can get those other colorations in there and they could just kind of throw it off in those areas. I don't always take off points for that kind of thing, but you know, it's nice when that's not there to distract. Okay, so before we move on, I have something I want to try. Now, in the original promos, this render right here was one of the first images that they showed of this figure, and right away people were wondering, okay, so how accurate is this? Can you actually get him in that pose? Because, you know, this is just a render. Sometimes they kind of fudge it, you know, to get the design all the way through and everything, and this is more of a concept than it is, but hey, it is on the promotional material officially, so can he actually get into that pose? I want to figure that out right now. The leg looks like it just goes like that, and going to totally bend that one down. Got the fists back on, that one goes down. Head looking up this way. Left arm goes all the way up. Alright, so he does look the part. Okay, so you can get him resembling the pose, but of course, you know, there is that little bit of length that you miss right there with the floor. Let's see if I can show you this way. See, there is a gap between the arm and the floor, but you know, honestly, it's kind of to be expected. You know, even in like really posable figures like Spider-Man, it's really hard for them to get an arm all the way down on the floor. And you know, really, it's the torso that does it. It does not bend very far to the side or the other. Mostly just goes back. I've been getting him in lots of other really good poses that I like, but you know, obviously this is a bit of a fudge, but you know, nothing I'm really worried about. Alright, so how does he compare to some of the other Iron Man figures that I have? Alright, so first up I have the AI Iron Man, which is indistinguishable from his iconic 60s look. This would be his third incarnation, but the design that they really stuck with for the better part of his history. And yeah, this is from the Shang-Chi Mr. Hyde wave that came out a few years ago. And like I said, these are some of those pulsar type blast effects. They work just as well as like rocket effects, but if you ask me, that is a pulse blast and this is a rocket blast. And this Iron Man does have a pair of fists, but I'm not fishing those out right now. Just imagine these hands but closed, and as you can see, I think these hands are quite an improvement over these because they are static. They don't bend. It is just completely solid. But like I said, he did come with some fists. I'm just not getting them out right now, but you know, you can imagine what they look like. Back to the star of this, how does he hold up with this more classic old school Iron Man? And here they both are side by side. They look about the same height. I think this one, the Extremis armor, might have a little bit on him, but pretty consistent heights. And, you know, you can see some classic attributes carried over into the modern era, like the circles on the thigh, like I mentioned, obviously the arc reactor, and obviously the helmets have a fair bit of similarities. So yeah, you know, I could not just go with one or the other. I'm really glad to have both a modern and a more classic representation of Iron Man. I think they both look amazing together. You kind of see all the steps they've gone through over the years. But on to another Iron Man comparison. The retro War Machine that came out last year. This is pretty much a reissue of the deluxe War Machine that came out a little bit before this one. This just has some color variations and less accessories, but still a really great version of the iconic best friend. Now obviously this one just looks tailor-made to go with the other one, but I'm here to compare the other one, and I will say they do look pretty good next to each other. You know, if this were the only Iron Man that I had, I would have no problem standing him next to this one. And actually these two, I think, line up at exactly the same height. He looks pretty good right alongside him. Not sure I have much else to add about that specifically, other than I love these effects on him, but that's aside the point.
Now this is gonna be a good story.
If you live to tell.
Think I can hold my own?
We get through this, I'll hold your own.
You had to make it weird.
And now for the comparison I'm actually most excited for. This Captain America 80th anniversary, I think. The one that came out last year. As you can see, the shield there, it's got a lot of effects. I know, you know, some people are kind of mixed on the shield because it does have these 3 really gaping holes that come out of the other side if you don't have an effect in, but I just say put an effect in, whatever. But yeah, these two next to each other, I feel like I'm literally reading Civil War just looking at these two. And, you know, this is a much better experience than actually reading Civil War, because that storyline is ass, but they do look great next to each other. Standing side by side, I thought Iron Man maybe has a little bit of height on him, but you know, he is in a mechanical suit. But yeah, they just look perfect next to each other, and I'm going to get these two into some cool and iconic poses. Let's try to get that iconic Civil War pose. It's the best I could do. Although to be totally accurate, there they are with their unmasked. That's the AI Tony head that I painted. I did an okay job, I think, but I think it looks pretty good on this body. And let's get a friendly one in there.
You're kidding me with the hand up, right?
Let's get a shot of the robot clone of Thor Tony made behind Thor's back. Like I said, he did a lot of terrible things in this era. And that is my look at the Iron Man Extremis figure from Hasbro's Marvel Legends, and a few comparisons as well. Overall, I was really pleased with this. I give it like 9 out of 10, I guess. I haven't really figured out a rating system, but I really enjoyed it. And if you were to get only one Iron Man figure, I don't think you would go wrong with picking this one.